button. There
Okay.
you are. Perfect. Everything's working here. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm actually really phenomenal tonight.
Nice.
Because my entire family went out to see Aladdin. The play. Yeah, the play. Yeah, that's what it's called. The play Aladdin, where we live. I have three daughters. My wife took them all out tonight. They've been gone since about 5 o'clock, and
Oh wow.
yeah, I did really well. Like a lot of times when my family leaves, I'm like I'm gonna relax, but I never do. I like do the laundry or the dishes, or I clean the entire house. I didn't do that. I kind of just chilled down here. I wrote all my notes for you on this dry erase board. I prepped for the show. Um, I did all that, and I'm proud of
That's
myself.
great.
So touche for me,
That's good.
right?
I just wanted to correct one thing.
Oh,
I've never trained at Hybrid School of Wrestling.
oh,
I trained at Dog Pound. Yeah.
and that's Jazz's company, right? Dog Pound.
Yes. Jazz and Rodney. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. That was our I guess we'll call him our hype man, Ryan Romano. And basically what I do with Ryan is I like, hey, he wants to be a ring announcer. So
Okay.
yeah, so I always said to him, like, I'll let you know who we have on. You cut a intro for them and we'll play it. And that's it. That's all we have. So I don't know where he gets stuff. But we'll correct him and he'll learn from it. So yeah, jazz.
Yeah. I mean, you probably got confused because Jazz and Rodney did train a little while in Hybrid, but
Okay.
I've never trained there. They eventually got their own school, and that's where I started training.
And Jazz's own school is the Dog Pound in Texas, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Um, oh man, Jazz, a legend in herself. But we'll get to that. So you born and raised. All right, let me see if I can get this correct. Let me see if I got this all down. You were born and raised in Orlando. Moved back to Mexico City, and then wanted more, so you came to Texas. Is that the easy answer for that?
Yes. That's right. That's correct.
Okay, so let me see how I can do this. Um, why Texas, first of all?
So, my brother was going to college here in Texas. So it was like he was the only family member I had in the US. So it kind of,
Works
that's
out.
just kind of how that happened.
Which is
Yeah.
ironic because Texas is a hotbed for wrestling. So it kind of all works out.
Yes, I'm actually not mad about it. Like at first I hated Texas because it was like everything is so far. Like Texas is just so big. So I did hate it, but once I started wrestling and training, I was like, this is probably like one of the best places I could have moved to.
Yeah. And so you're in Mexico City, born and raised in Orlando, as we said. Your family, were they into wrestling? Your mom and dad?
My dad was, my brother was very into wrestling. That's how I got into it because I was always like that annoying
Right.
sister that just wouldn't leave him alone. And so whatever he did, I wanted to do as well. But my mom, she like took me and my brother to like my first wrestling show when I was 3. So she like wasn't into it, but she supported what we liked.
Right. I just took all my daughters to Impact Wrestling's
Oh, cool.
Bound for Glory and then the tapings, and my wife came, and my wife was into wrestling when we first got together. Like she would watch it with me
Hmm.
at night, and she doesn't care anymore. So we were at the I was hoping Impact would focus on her and turn her into a meme. It didn't happen. She was at the tapings after. Let's see. So if the tapings started at, like, let's say they started at 8. About 2.5 hours in, at my wife's bedtime, my wife sat down and was on her phone and was like, I was like, they're gonna focus on you and turn you into a meme. My other daughters, 13, 10, and 3. Holy shit, 13, 10, and 5, were extremely into it, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I totally get that. Bringing your kids to the shows, getting them into it. You watched a lot of wrestling. Your brother was into it. You're inspired by the WWE. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
assuming. But it wasn't until CMLL that pushed you over the edge and gave you that aha moment.
Yeah. It was also like at the moment I had just finished my first year of college and I just wasn't feeling like I felt like I wanted to do more, but I didn't know what. And so then I went back to Mexico City to visit my parents and I was like originally gonna just like move back and just live with them for a little while. And then my whole family is pretty like into wrestling, like back in Mexico. But my dad took me to a CMLL show and just like being there, like the environment, my whole family, it was like 20 of us though. It was like my cousins, my uncles. And I was like, wow, like they're really into it. I really like it. Like I could probably do it. And so then I came back like immediately back to Texas because I knew if I would like start my wrestling journey in Mexico, my parents would be like, no, 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 like, don't do that. It's like, it's too dangerous. Like, they would have told me something. I just wanted to, like, figure out, figure out what I want to do. And so once I started training, like, I found love. Like, it was like, this is what I want to do.
Were you into sports or like drama or theater or anything like that growing up in school?
Definitely not theater. I did soccer. My mom put me in the soccer when I was 3, and then I stopped probably when I was like 16. So I was in that for a while.
Soccer intense in Mexico City?
In Mexico City, it was intense, but in the U.S. when I was here, it wasn't. It was just recreational.
Yeah, that explains a lot when we get to the World Cup. But we'll get to that's in a couple of months. Um, and literally that just threw me off my. Oh, here's I didn't have these in my notes, but as you were saying, like I'm gonna go to Texas, I'm gonna train. This is what I want to do. Because if I did it in Mexico, my parents would be like, "Oh, you're gonna get hurt and whatnot." Uh, Wrestling's big in Mexico. Luchador,
Hmm.
lucha libre, masked wrestling. Have you ever worn a mask in the ring? Two, contemplated it.
No, I that was like the one thing when I like started wrestling. I was like, I'm not wearing a mask. Like, I just I'm too claustrophobic, maybe. Like,
Mm,
I just could not do it. My boyfriend's a wrestler, and he comes out with a mask and takes it off. And he used to wrestle under mask.
okay,
And I've tried them on, and I'm just like, I don't know how you do this. Like, I
right,
could not. Like, so I definitely, I mean, never say never, right?
right.
But,
And you got the hair. You got the hair. Would be even. I'm sure that would be even harder to do.
and Texas is so hot. Like, imagining wrestling outside in this Texas weather with a mask. Like, just no.
Oh,
Immediately no.
I think we had some other people on. We've had a lot of people actually on. From the Texas scene. Uh, Reality of Wrestling, Mission Pro, which you've been a part of, and the heat is definitely a factor. Especially during the COVID era. I think it was Mysterious Q we had on from Reality of Wrestling, and he was talking about an outdoor event and match at that time where like perspiration and sweat just formed outside the ring and that they didn't expect when they were, you know, planning to do it. And so the heat factor in Texas for sure.
Big factor, yes.
So you wrestling's what you want to do. This is what you're meant to do. You go to Texas, which at the time you probably didn't realize was a hotbed for wrestling. Um, how do you get started involved with Jazz in her wrestling school, which then leads. I mean, it's all like being in the right place at the right time. So it was Jazz. Jazz brings in Thunder Rosa, who then is she a part of getting you that start at AEW? How does that journey go?
So originally, I signed up for this school here in Austin. It's APW, America's Academy of Pro Wrestling, and the trainer, the head trainer there, is good friends with Ronnie and Jazz.
Okay.
So I started training there. They're good friends. That trainer there brought in Jazz and Ronnie for a seminar. And then Jazz and Ronnie mentioned they're opening a school in San Antonio. And I was just like, I want to be a part of this. You know, growing up, I watched Jazz. So I was like, hell yeah, like, let's do this. And so I would drive to San Antonio, and I didn't know, I don't know how Thunder Rosa got involved, but they were friends. And then Thunder Rosa came into the picture, and Thunder Rosa was like, this was during COVID.
Right.
Thunder Rosa was like, oh, like AEW's like needs new like girls. And that's how I got into that, which was all like luck. But
Right.
I mean,
so this is around the start of probably what, 2020 ish, maybe the end.
Yes. Near the endish, yeah.
Yeah, because I think I heard you in, and I want to say it was Ella J's podcast, Wrestling Gal. She said you had 5 matches at the start of 2020. COVID hit. In Texas, you were still able to train, work, stay in good ring shape. The end of 2020, you were around 10 to 12 matches, maybe. You get that call from AEW. No matter how you get it, what's your mindset? Because you're still a young wrestler. I mean, you haven't even had 20 matches under your belt. What's your mindset at?
I was so nervous. I was like probably gonna shit my pants because I got like it was like probably a week before, not even a week before, they were like, oh, we need you like next week, like right. Monday, Tuesday, right? And I was just like, and I had all these bookings like the whole weekend full. So I didn't have time to process it, which was probably like the best thing because I didn't have time to be like I was nervous, but not like super, super nervous. So I had to like wrestle, like I had like 4 matches and then like fly right away to AEW. So it was insane, honestly.
You are on AEW. I watched a ton of those. First match, I believe, was Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
Your experience there, you walk through the curtain, you finish a match at AEW, whether it's your first or your second or whatever the case may be. You finish a match, you come through the curtain. Who comes up to you, and is there any advice given?
Tony Khan is usually like, thank you. But Dustin, who's like, you know,
yeah,
I don't think he's their head coach now, but he's like their agent. He's usually there to give you advice, and he's like the best. Like, I love him.
Yeah. We've heard a lot of good things about Dustin. His with the advice he gives to the talent that comes in. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame. I think he's a Hall. Well, he's a Hall of Famer in my mind. And you know, the Nightmare Factory and all that fun stuff, which I think actually he might not even be involved in the Nightmare Factory. I think he's got his own school.
No, he has Rose Wrestling Academy in Austin, so that's his school. Well, check it out; it's a really good school.
Rhodes Wrestling Academy. There is an entire pay-per-view in its own right. The Nightmare Factory versus the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. Let's go fight. Yeah, right. Let's go fight TV. Let's book that. Thunder Rosa opened that door for you at AEW?
She did, yeah.
Yeah, she opened a lot of doors for women's wrestling. Not only at AEW but Mission Pro. A lot of good stuff. We've talked to her a few times. Great human being. Hopefully she makes it back here soon. Healthy. Mm-hmm. But not only AEW, but you were also, I found out, I didn't even realize this till I started prepping, but you had a WWE main event match versus, gosh, I didn't write that down, for someone.
It was for main event against Tamina.
Tamina Snuka.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you finish that match versus Tamina, you come through the curtain, you come through Gorilla. What advice are you given and who comes up to you?
There was a couple people. AJ Styles gave us advice,
Okay.
which was cool. Adam Pearce, he gave advice. There was a lot. Honestly, that was probably like that was like probably the best experience I've had so far in wrestling, just because everything was so positive. I can't say any bad thing. I was like so nervous because like you always hear like, oh, WWE, you hear so much stuff about what goes on backstage that I was like, that was like such a nerve wracking moment. But everything turned out really fine. Like it was such a positive experience, and I'm so grateful for that. Tamina was great. The girls were great. Nothing bad to say about that experience.
You you just sidetracked me backwards. So you trained with Jazz, as we said, at her school. Um, is there a difference in being trained by a female as opposed to being trained by a male?
Yes, because obviously, like the locker rooms are different. Like even the environment, like a male environment and a female environment is so different. So being trained by Jazz and even Thunder Rosa, like
Right.
Jazz back then, she like was like everywhere, and she's still like at NWA and stuff, but Thunder Rosa has like been everywhere now. So being able to be trained by both of them was just great.
That is, it's we've talked to a lot of female wrestlers, and it never occurred to me to ask them the difference in being trained by a male as opposed to a female because they would have that different experience. And I guess Jazz definitely has a ton of experience, and Thunder Rosa as well. So yeah, you triggered that in me. But anyways, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to Jazmin Allure. Yes, I said that correct. Uh, and so for those that may have never seen you, okay, so this is the vibe I got. I watched a ton of matches. This is the vibe I got. Your gear gives me Sasha Banks vibes. Your in ring work gives me like Jeff Hardy ish vibes. Are those wrestlers that inspired you getting into this? Are those the wrestlers you look up to? Um, Describe yourself to the people out there.
You actually guessed it. So my gear is inspired
Yes.
by Sasha Banks. Because she has like straps on her arms, and I just did straps on the legs just to be a little
Oh, I
different.
didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then like the rhinestones and all
right.
that stuff. I watched so much Jeff Hardy growing up, so he's definitely my inspiration. When they told me like starting off, you have to have like 3 or 4 wrestlers that you really like, and just kind of like watch them and study them and kind of be a little bit like them. And so it was Sasha Banks, Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio, and
Okay.
AJ Lee. So
Oh,
that's
AJ
kind
Lee.
of like
Nice.
my inspiration. But yeah, so Jasmine Allure, you know, they call me top tier. My first year of wrestling, I wrestled top names. I was on AEW and I
Mm-hmm.
wrestled top names there. And I just think that like since I'm wrestling these top names, I can and I managed to hang with them, I'm top tier. And I have this attitude that, I think I'm better than everyone else. And that's kind of just what I like to prove in the ring.
Does that cocky attitude and persona come natural to you?
Yeah, I like to think so. They always say be you, but 10 times more in the ring. And so that's kind of what not that I'm like a bitch in real life, but
Hey. Sometimes, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a bitch in real life. It's okay. It's all right. Embrace it. Um,
Right?
I did. I was listening. Ella J. We've had her on the show. Dear friend of mine, runs a great podcast in her own right. I believe she actually just got a gig with Wrestling Inc. too. By the way, so congratulations to her. You were speaking with her, and you guys were discussing anxiety and depression. Now
Mhm.
you had brought it up that wrestling gave you this safe space which helped you handle, cope, I guess are the words I'm looking for, with all of that.
Mhm.
Can you elaborate on that? And the reason I ask is like my middle daughter, which I talked about earlier, struggles with anxiety, and I mean, we'd like to touch on it. Like it's important, and I think it should be known. So, how did wrestling provide you this safe space for that?
So we can go back a little bit also, like
Okay.
after my first year of college, that's when the anxiety and depression like hit really bad. And watching wrestling really like was something that helped. And once I started training, it just became something. Obviously I fell in love with it. So
Right.
my thing is, when you have anxiety, do something you love and are passionate about, and that wrestling was that for me.
Yeah. I can relate to that because and I'm gonna use my middle daughter again. Struggles with anxiety. We went to, let me see, ain't coming down here soon. They're not back from Aladdin yet. Uh, we went to, the session. We wanted to talk about it. She wanted to get on some medication and whatnot, and she she was discussing everything in her life, and she plays softball. Okay, and they asked her like, do you does this stuff affect you when you're playing softball? And my daughter was like, no, I'm focused, I'm into it, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and it's just not something that pops into my head. It literally, she's 10 years old, and she was able to verbalize that and said, it doesn't pop into my head when I'm playing softball because I'm focused, I'm enjoying it, I want to uh help my teammates, all that fun stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
what you told me about wrestling and you how it helped you and you enjoyed it, I can relate with. So touche on you. Tough. It's tough stuff, right? It's like uh
It is. But as long as you find what you really like love and what takes your mind off of anxiety, it's amazing. And for me, that was wrestling. Whenever, I'm really anxious or I'm just not having a good day, if I get in a ring and start training, it just makes me feel 100 times better.
that's awesome. That's great to hear. All right, back to wrestling. Speaking of training, you're with Jazz. You still training with Jazz?
It's kind of difficult right now because I'm so busy with like being with WoW. I'm not even in Texas as much as I was before, and
Okay.
I'm still in college, so I have to. So I tend to go whenever I can.
Are you still striving for that business degree?
Yes.
Yeah, good for you. Because marketing yourself, your big cartel, your wrestling persona, all your merchandise, that's a business. You
Yes.
yourself are a business. So,
Yeah, for sure. And then they also give us like business law class, which is like about contracts and stuff. So that helps so much.
yeah.
It honestly is just all together, like wrestling and business. Just one.
Um you brought up AJ Lee before on who inspires you. You just mentioned wow. I saw on your Twitter a nice photo with you and AJ Lee. Do we have inform me, like, are you doing stuff with WoW? I know WoW is coming back and making a reboot, I guess, quote unquote.
Yeah, I'm currently signed with them. I signed, I think, in June. So I've
Okay,
been working with them since June.
nice. And your name in WoW, because this is my favorite part of WoW. Your name in WoW is
I can't say yet. I can't.
oh
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'll
Yeah.
turn off. Hold on. Let me turn off the cameras. Boop, 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 boop. There. Okay.
No. I'm technically not allowed to
No, I get
until
it.
my episode airs
Okay, nice. So, how long until that episode airs?
next year.
Next, okay. Oh, I'm excited. I'm very. We just had. Oh gosh, her name was Raylan. Yeah, Raylan Chantilly Cella. Chantilly Cella. That was her name.
Yeah.
We just had her on. Um, and that's awesome though. That makes me excited. So, your experience. Give me a little bit on your experience with WoW. Your experience with AJ. At least someone you've looked up to.
Yeah, so far so great. I'm enjoying WoW and like that experience and being able to wrestle these girls who I've also watched and being able to get advice by AJ has been incredible. She's literally like I call her my godmother because
Yeah.
she like made my dream come true. Like she's the one that got me in there and has helped me so much. So it's incredible that experience.
Uh, she is a great human being from everything I've seen and read and all that, on stuff on social media, which can take it for what it is. But everything I think I know, she seems like a great human being, and we're getting closer to getting her on. I feel now. Um, but and she's into comics and geeky stuff, and I'm gonna get to that because I got some non wrestling stuff after this. But before I get to that, what do you have coming up? Got anything you want to plug? Any
Oh
show?
yeah, so this Saturday, October 22nd, I will be at Hurricane Pro Wrestling. So if you're around the Houston area, be sure to like. And
Pop
then
up.
I don't know what I have next because I'm so like all over the place that I'm like I
I
think that's what I usually go by week.
I think I
So
just
that's
saw
what I
you.
have this week.
I had your Twitter up too. I had it up and then I closed it for a second. But I saw your. All right, what did you just mention again? Hurricane for
Hurricane
wrestling.
Pro Res.
Yeah,
Yes,
Hurricane
that's
Pro
this
Wrestling.
weekend.
Gigi Ray versus Jazmin Allure versus Dream Girl Ellie. Saturday, October 22nd, 7 p.m. Tickets
Yes.
still on sale. Beaumont, Texas. So if you're in there, it's also on Title Match Network, I believe. Maybe after the fact.
Yes.
Yeah,
So if you can't make it, you can watch it on Title Match.
phenomenal. But I do have some non wrestling stuff I want to get to, which is my favorite part of these spots. Let me see. So I talked about Mexico City. Uh, Well, you mentioned that you have to actually pay to go to school in Mexico, which I thought was insane. But okay, so you're top tier, right? Top tier,
Mm-hmm.
Jazmin Allure. You've probably gotten this a few times. Give your top tier, your Mount Rushmore of this or that. Hopefully, I can.
Ooh.
Yeah, hopefully, I can bring a little change to it. I know that you're into Marvel, or at least you were. You were rewatching all the movies
Yeah.
during COVID. I would like your top tier of the Marvel superheroes, of the Avengers, I suppose.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Uh,
You want to start with number one or number
no,
three or five? You want
in
to
no
go?
specific order. No specific order,
No,
right?
okay,
But
no specific order.
gosh, this is so. Um, I really like Doctor Strange. I
Okay,
think he's interesting.
I enjoy
Um,
Doctor Strange as well. We match.
um, is this boring if I say like Spider Man because everyone's
No,
like,
that does not.
okay,
No, you win with Spider Man.
okay,
But
okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
pause and I'm gonna ask you now. Who is your favorite Spider Man? Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, or Tobey Maguire?
Gosh, I so I grew up watching Toby,
Okay.
right? So I
Yep.
have like that's like a soft spot for me. But I really like Tom Holland,
I
and
do
I
too.
didn't watch Andrew until like right before the third Tom Holland movie came out, which
Yep.
was great. But I haven't. So ooh,
I'll help you.
I'm gonna
It's
go with Toby. I'm gonna go with Toby.
You're gonna go with Toby. I was gonna help you. I was gonna say that it's Tom Holland, but
Is that your pick?
I grew up watching Toby. I get it. I didn't watch Andrew Garfield. I've gone back. Oh, we're almost on the same plane here. But
Yeah.
there's something about Tom Holland that really relates to Spider-Man Peter Parker for me. For me, it's Tom Holland.
Okay.
All right. So we have Doctor Strange. We have Spider-Man. I will give you at least 3 more superheroes.
Okay. Um, this is Black Panther.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever coming out soon. That
Um,
is a good one. Rest in
I'm
peace.
excited for that one.
Me too.
A lot of people like when I tell them that I really enjoy Captain America, they're like they just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't
But
get it
he's
either.
definitely like one of my favorites.
I read something today of Captain America returning. Uh, but I only read the title, which is what I normally do. Only read the titles.
You're like you got me excited, but now it's like
No, I don't want to. Like, I read the titles and then there's like a something in my brain that says don't read on because you may get spoiled of something, and I don't want to be spoiled. So I'll read the title and be like, "Oh, cool, the return." All right, so Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Black Panther, rest in peace, Captain America. You want to leave it at 4? That you want to leave it at the Horseman?
yeah, we'll do Iron Man. Add Iron Man.
Iron Man. Good call there. Well done. That's your
I'll
top
be
two.
thinking about this all night. I'll be like, man, it's just like
You're gonna change it constantly. Constantly. You know, everybody asks, "What's your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?" It constantly changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and the question is stupid. Which is why I asked you the top tier of what did I say? Marvel characters.
Marvel.
I will now ask you.
Which I love the twist. I love that twist we did.
And I'll bring it back to wrestling. So now I'll ask you the top tier of wrestling moves for you personally. Wrestling moves, and I'm only going to give you 3.
3. So I don't know if you know my finisher. It's like a teardrop.
Okay.
If you watched it, that is definitely on there. I like
top of the
just
top
putting myself over.
is what you should do on this show.
Spanish Fly.
Okay, I like that.
And those are my 2 favorite ones to do. I should probably choose one that I haven't done, just so I can like
which one do
put
you
it there
want
with.
to do?
I feel like there's like so many. Um,
There are a lot of moves.
I've always wanted to do a shooting star press.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to like I've been going to like the trampoline parks and like working on it. It's a very scary move, but I feel like whenever somebody hits it, it's just like a wow moment, you know?
It sounds
Wait,
scary.
no, can I change that? Can I change that?
Well, hold
No.
on. I gotta edit it. Go ahead.
The V trigger.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yes.
Looks nasty.
When like yes, it does. And when I would do extra work for AEW and I would see Kenny hit it, I was like, it just looks so like devastating. And I would love to do that one day, but as good as he does it, Yeah, if it
Yes.
doesn't look as good as he does it, I'm not gonna do it.
There you go. I like that. I like that motivation. All right, last one. Okay, this is the last one, and then I promise this is the last one.
Okay.
I need the top tier. We're approaching Halloween. I need the top tier of Halloween candy.
Ooh,
So let's say what 3 to 5 Halloween candy of your favorites, I guess.
I love when they're full size.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
that's like my. I should probably have not done that.
Yeah,
Maybe
don't
like
worry. Don't worry. We
screenshot.
don't worry. We did not clip that. We won't use that.
Oh,
I'm not using the fact that
I
you
know
just
the guys.
that you just said.
The guys are already gonna screenshot that.
I'm
I
actually
did it and I didn't think about it.
I'm extremely lazy, so I probably won't screenshot you going like this. But I probably will have a clip of you saying, "I like I like it
Full size.
full size."
Oh
Trust me,
wow.
yeah, it's okay. It's, candy
This is why I
wise,
don't do a lot of podcasts because I always do something like ridiculous in them.
I wouldn't
But we're
worry
not
about
gonna.
it.
That's a different
We'll be
podcast.
fine. You'll be fine. Nobody.
So
You'll be all right.
Snickers, I love Snickers.
Okay,
Um,
that's good. I like Snickers as well. I also like what was it? I also like king size Snickers. I also like king size Snickers.
Snickers. I feel like sometimes you forget about them, and then once you like look in your bag, you're like, "Oh my god, like this is so good." Um, Hershey's.
Snickers, Hershey's. We should do this together. Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yes, but
Yes.
not. I probably wouldn't put that there though.
Oh, gee. Oh, good lord. Sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, Three Musketeers. Just because
Okay.
I don't have those so many, and so whenever I get them in Halloween, I'm like, hell yeah. Um, what do you throw some out there? Maybe I'll like
I
think
like
of
Reese's peanut butter cups, which is why I said it. Snickers. Okay, we Snickers. What'd you say? Snickers, Three Musketeers,
Hersh
Hershey's,
Hershey's.
Three Musketeers. What about like I see we're on the chocolate kick. What about Almond Joy? Kit
No,
Kat?
no.
Hmm.
Oh, I York. Is
Okay,
that what
York
it's called?
peppermint
The
patties.
peppermint?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
yes.
That's good. Do you
What
like
else? Throw some more out.
do you like sugary stuff? Like Skittles.
Oh, the ones that are like sour.
Okay, sour Skittles. Wait,
Those.
M&Ms. Do you
Yes.
enjoy M&Ms?
Not really. Not- I mean, I do, but it's not like when I'm in Halloween, I get excited for it. You know, it's like
Are you dressing up for Halloween this year?
I don't think so. See, but I say that like last year, I was like, I'm not dressing up, and that day I decided to dress up.
What did you
So
dress up as
cool.
last year?
It's so I don't know if you watch telenovelas,
I
but there's this like one telenovela in Mexico, which was about like these high schoolers, and they sang and they were in a band, and they actually like were a real life band, so they would tour, and I dressed up as one of them. So
Interesting. So like High School Musical, but in Mexico.
yeah, and like a telenovela, pretty much. So yeah,
Okay.
I guess, but they had a uniform. So in High School Musical, they didn't.
No.
So in like Mexico, everybody usually wears a uniform. So I put on the uniform.
Did you watch High School Musical?
I did. My 8th birthday was High School Musical.
We it's a big hit in my house, and it totally, and I bring this up for a reason. So it totally got ruined for me this weekend. Okay, so I have 3 daughters, as I mentioned before, and they all watch it and they love it. Okay, we were driving back from a softball tournament, and we had High School Musical soundtrack on the radio on the car through someone's Spotify. And it was a song, and it said the artist of the song was Troy. And I was like, why does it say Troy and not Zac Efron? This is ridiculous. My oldest daughter told me that Zac Efron did not sing on the first two soundtracks and in the movies. It ruined the entire movie for me.
Really? Yeah. Because I remember they would tour,
Right.
and when I saw like I don't know if it was like a video or a flyer, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna be in town, but it wasn't Zac Efron. Like he
Right.
was not gonna be on the tour, and that's when I found out, and I was like so disappointed too.
They ruined it for me entirely, and I was very disappointed. But I got over it because when I watched The Greatest Showman, Zac Efron actually does sing on his songs. And he's got pipes. So good job for Zac Efron. That was an extremely side tangent. So,
have you watched the new High School Musical
with Olivia Rodrigo?
Mm-hmm.
We have. I did not pay much attention to it. Although they watched it, I didn't pay attention to it. And then Olivia Rodrigo came out with her new album, which was probably a couple years ago by now. I love her new album. Phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal. So I didn't watch that show, but I watched some of it, fell in love with her new album. Oh gosh, this is really going to throw me under the bus. I'm a big Olivia Rodrigo fan because I watched Bizaardvark on oh gosh, what was Bizaardvark on? Disney Channel at the time, before Disney Plus, with the Paul brother, not Logan, Jake Paul was on there as well. And I watched it with my kids and we loved it. It was like a sketch show. So yeah, so I didn't watch the new High School Musical. I knew of it. I heard some of it. I did fall in love with Olivia Rodrigo's new album. Yeah. So
I think we're like on the same page. Like I put it on. I didn't really watch it that much. I liked one of the songs she sang on there.
Yes,
and
I've heard some of
her
them.
album.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, her album was so good. So I was like, I fell in love with her.
Yeah. Yeah, like we have the Disney Channel like on Sirius, so they'll come up and I'll be like, oh my god, there she is. Let me listen to it, and it's good. And it's interesting because I'm probably a lot older than you. I tell my wife, this Olivia Rodrigo album, so Sour, that's the name of it. Sour is, to me, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. So in my time, back in the day, that's the correlation I relate to it. It's the same type of like content, breakup type of stuff, all the same things. So for those keeping score at home, Olivia Rodrigo's Sour is the same as Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
I'm gonna like listen to it to see.
You should. I enjoy Jagged Little Pill. May be the best album of the 90s. Nobody quote me on that. It may be. There's a lot of good ones. Green Day. That's a whole nother show, Jazmin. That's a whole nother show. But I'm not going to keep you any longer. Although I'm having a lot of fun talking to you, I won't keep you any longer. I'll let you go, but you're welcome back anytime. To plug anything you want, promote any show you want, talk about any candy you want. It doesn't matter to me. But what we do at the end of every show is I'm going to give you the mic now, and you can put over whatever, like I said, whatever show you want, whatever link you want, whatever big cartel you want, or you can bury anyone you want. You want to bury Thunder Rosa? Feel free.
No, I don't.
You don't? You don't want to bury her? I was hoping someone would.
No.
I'm gonna give you the mic. The floor is yours.
You guys can follow me at Jazmin Allure. That's my handle for every social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also check out my Big Cartel and my pro wrestling tees. And catch me this Saturday, October 22nd for Hurricane Pro Wrestling.
Phenomenal. Jazmin, you've been a pleasure to have on. What would you be doing tonight if you were not on the show?
I was on my way to the gym.
Oh.
And then I realized like it said 9:30 Eastern time and I'm Central. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to have enough time. Like I'll probably have like an hour. And I'm like, no, I'm going to just go back home and then chill. And so right now, after this, I'm going to the gym.
Spectacular. Yeah, time zones are hard, not only for me, but for our guests. So we've run into that. So I appreciate it. And yeah, so go to the gym, work out, go kick some ass, and keep kicking ass. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, have a great night. Peace.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, great.